We're not leaving. I promise this video will still talk about LCS Finals weekend, as well as who's the greatest player on 100 Thieves League of Legends side. Later in the video, I will chop that up. I pre-recorded like 15 minutes of content that I was editing while this news came out. But yeah, this now 100% takes precedence. 100 Thieves will remain in the LCS as NRG and Immortals leave. Before I dive into my excitement for 100 Thieves, I do want to pour one out for Immortals and for NRG staff who are losing their jobs as a result of this, the players who are going to have to go elsewhere as talent starts to consolidate elsewhere. My thoughts are with you. I hope you guys are okay. I'm going to save a full video talking about the consolidation, what I want to see from the league going forward, assuming there might be an announcement. There might not be. I don't know. I'm going to save all that for Friday. We can talk about it then. But for this video, let's talk about the timeline of 100 Thieves staying in the LCS, because boy, has this been a wild couple of months since this all got announced. I have been fed so many freaking rumors against my will throughout this entire process. Now that Travis has said all this, I'm just going to come out and say everything that's been messaged to me prior to this. And that was starting with, I think I want to say almost 2 months ago, I was told that 100 Thieves were out. Around the same time that Travis Gafford was noting that 100 Thieves might be likely to leave, and others were saying it too, I think Monte Cristo included. Like, I was DM'd and told that 100 Thieves just wanted out and didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I recorded a whole 16-minute video on that day, the moment I found all this stuff out, and I will never release that, I promise you that. But I left that video, honest to God, just feeling like maybe it's not like I was told that they want to leave, not that they're out, that the decision-making process is still ongoing. So I was like, maybe we got a chance. Maybe we can fight for this. Maybe like there's still a possibility of this happening. So then over the course of the last 2 months, I kept getting messages of things starting to shift and change, and 100 Thieves might want to stay in regardless of the results. I don't know if us making Worlds had any sort of tangible impact on this whatsoever. I will say the first message that I got from somebody saying that 100 Thieves was staying was probably about a week and a half ago. I was told the same thing that Travis has now reported, that it would likely be Immortals and NRG leaving. There was somebody that was still like iffy on Dig. Like, I'm telling, like, the amount of shit that got put in my DMs that I did not ask for was ridiculous. So I didn't believe anything, but like there was one common through line that started to show over the last week specifically, which was 100 Thieves would not be leaving. It felt like around the same time as that Akali mode came out, that everything kind of started to change a little bit. 100 Thieves was like a little bit more kind of pushing things, and I don't know, the momentum changed, the whole perspective, like from my side of just like constantly looking at the org, viewing the tweets, viewing social media, looking at how people were talking about the org, everything started to shift a little bit. I don't know if that's when the decision was made to stay or not, but regardless, we are going to be here. Thank Christ. We have too much of a good thing going for it to be chucked away. And I am so freaking relieved that this is going to be the case now, because now you can just go into Worlds with like a sigh of relief of like, yes, now we can actually build towards 2025. Now it feels like we can keep growing this thing. The fandom can keep going. I can keep pushing everything that I've been wanting to here, and we can try and grow this thing. Because, dude, we got the players. We got like all the momentum in the world. We are one of the 3 or 4 biggest brands in the league right now. I know monetization isn't great for the space, and I completely get owners' gripes on that front, and that's why the model's changing to be the way that it is now. And I know it's also not going to be easy going forward, because content for League of Legends isn't in the best space. Like, the viewership for 100 Thieves YouTube content isn't like phenomenal. I'm not going to lie about that. But I feel like we can eventually start to crack the code, and somebody can eventually start to embrace like the sports fandom that has been missing in the LCS for a long period of time, which I've been trying to push here. Sorry, I know I'm not like the most well-spoken and well put together on this right now. It's because I literally just found out and like set this up to start recording and talking. I think I'm going to leave my cut-in portion here and just let me from earlier talk about why I think we're best positioned to like push things forward. I'll have more well-rounded thoughts come Friday whenever I address all of this. But for now, I just wanted people to know that yes, we are safe. So let's talk a little bit about some of the criteria that went into this decision, as well as my justice for closer argument. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Rendezvous, the series that will be continuing all throughout Worlds, because we play matches in just under 3 weeks. Yeah, it's that quick of a turnaround. But first, we do have to dive into the very quick 3-0 with a very quick recap. Simply put, FlyQuest were just better. There's really not much else to say. There's really nothing to add to it. Looking back at game one, the Azir, Ezreal, we didn't have enough damage to poke through. The Amumu, the Renekton, and the Leona, I mean, they just got leads in every single lane and crushed us. The Asol was getting leads in lane, which that you can't do. River had a very off series where it seemed like every time that he ganked pre-10 minutes, whether that was us not being on the same page as River and us not following the same lead, regardless, he went to a lane. That lane would then walk out with 2 kills at minimum. And the first game, I think it was Quad. The second game, I think it was Masu. And then the third game, I don't remember who it was, but it happened again in the third game. Yeah, looking back at game 2, again, Leona Kai'Sa. The Kai'Sa was like 3-0 by like 15 minutes, and it was just over. Game 4, I actually like that we tried a different draft. Oh, shit. Game 4, I like that we tried a different draft. We had the Kalista, the Senna, the Yasuo in the mid game, and it felt like we were trying to make plays. There were actually points throughout this series and then in this game as well where Sniper was like 1 or 2 points away from getting a kill. Unfortunately, wasn't able to collect on it. Was like 1 auto, maybe 2 autos off at most. But what ended up happening from that was that it would snowball into other kills for FlyQuest. They would be able to push a lead, and we were never able to claw back like little moments of momentum that would typically swing our way, which honestly was just like stage nerves. First time these guys have played in a series like this in front of that many people, so it was a little bit difficult clearly for them to handle the nerves. You would assume the next time that they get back to the situation, they will obviously be a little bit better, but look, they're young guys. That's the nature of the series. There's not much you can say or harp on. FlyQuest was the clear favorites going into this. They ended up winning. We're still going to Worlds. That's it. Like a 3-0 here for FlyQuest doesn't diminish what has been an incredible season for us, what has been an incredible run throughout playoffs, being able to beat Cloud9 to go to Worlds, to now get this additional experience in play-ins where we will get the chance to play against a few weaker teams in the international landscape, but that then feeds back into the group stage where if we can qualify, yeah, I'm not saying we're going to do damage by any means, but you never know. If we could just take a game or two, maybe. That's fine. But at least just getting out of play-in stage is fine by me. So let's get to the more entertaining stuff. The 100 Thieves Fan Fest booth honestly seemed like it did pretty well. I wasn't there, but from what I gathered from people that were on site and were able to pass along word to me, seemed like it went over pretty well. Everybody was pretty excited, and then 100 Thieves notably hosted an after party after day 1, which I get. We lost, and that kind of sucks, but it was sponsored by Crocs, and apparently they actually, I don't know whether the reservation got messed up or what happened. DK would be able to explain more about that, but apparently they got put to like a smaller section of like the bar and area where they were at, and it was like completely packed. Everybody showed up and showed out, and it was also the night of the Eagles-Packers game, so there were a lot of people and a lot of things going on. But the alcohol and tab was covered by 100 Thieves, so you got the drink on the 100 Thieves dime, which, yeah, don't think there's any complaints about that at all. That's awesome. And a bunch of people got free pairs of Crocs, which, yeah, that's freaking cool. That's awesome. I love it. Finally, I do want to end on a lighter note, as Nate Shot had his send-off as he moved to Texas, and they released a video that was just like a roundtable discussion with everybody in the org, and they were asking who was their favorite esports player that has ever been part of 100 Thieves. And I thought this was a good time to bring up that discussion for the League of Legends program specifically, because I know a lot of people are going to say someday. Obviously, he's like the one player from the League of Legends program that is in the Hall of Fame. I get that. But again, I joined the fandom in 2020, so I'm a little bit later to the crew, so I was actively cheering again someday for a good 2 years. While, again, I appreciate everything that he's done for the org, and he, by all means, is like the legacy 100 Thieves player. I'm not going to deny that. I want to make the case for Closer. Some people could argue Aframu. He was with the org for 2 years and did great, obviously, but like, Closer was with us for 3 years, the 2021 year, 2022, and 2023, like the double lift Bjergsen, where, yes, I know the ending is going to leave such a sour taste in people's mouths. But honestly, I think at his ceiling, he was probably one of the best performing players that we had ever had in the 100 Thieves program. I know Someday was like a rock and Mr. Consistency and would pull out miracles out of nowhere, but Closer, when he took over games, was just fun to watch and a whole different animal. That was the biggest criticism of Someday for the longest time, was like, you know, you could give him leads, but like he wasn't the type of player to carry with it. Closer was the type of person that, I mean, the voice comm said it all. He'll tell you to shut the fuck up and carry, and he will legitimately do it. And he will go out and make the play that he promises you that he's going to do. And he's hypey about it. And he's got a little bit more of a vocal personality that I've always appreciated from him. I know it went out horribly, and I know like towards the end, like even I was very critical of his champion pool and other things there, but like during the peaks, like you look at 2021, 2022, dude, that guy was on fire. And he was so much fun to watch, and he provided entertainment value to this League of Legends program that luckily I think kind of runs in Sniper now. Sniper's very much taken on like that personality, or people that were kind of like looking for what Closer offered them to fans. But Closer was the OG. He was that guy. He was the shit. It's sad that he never got a title in a stadium. Unfortunately, 0-2 in finals, 0-6 in map count total. But dude, when he was popping off, oh my God, was he incredible. Like one of the best that we'd ever had in the Oregon. Man, I am just appreciative of the time that he spent here and everything that he gave to the 100 Thieves brand, because it wouldn't be where it is today without like his legacy and his era within it. So that's going to be it for the rendezvous this week. Be sure to follow me on Twitter if you want to see up to the minute updates. I can only pump out YouTube videos so quick, but hopefully we'll have an answer on whether we're staying or not soon, because I'm really getting tired of waiting for all this to happen. And now that LCS is over, we got to find out soon, right? We have to find out. We can't keep sitting in limbo. This is going to eat me alive.